boys always having it if you fancy it. If you fancy it, that's understood. And suppose it makes you fat, I don't worry over that. For a little of what you fancy does you good.
Parents opened it in 1914. I think in those days they were working for a firm called Evans. And I suppose in those days they, my grandmother was I think was a manageress there, from what I understand. And they took it on when the Evans retired, and I suppose in those days they retained the name Evans until they paid the business fee off, you know, the debt. And then it became Arments around about 1914. That was at 386 Walworth Road, which is more or less opposite the top of Westmoreland Road now as it comes out onto the top of Walworth Road. And we had also had a shop going opposite East Street Market, and I think that was number 278. And that is now, I think that's a Morrison's.
Definitely on the Walworth Road, just before you got to East Lane, towards where the police station was.
I remember when they used to have another shop down Walworth Road.
They was out in the main road then, and they used to have all the old marble tables, sawdust on the floor.
Me, I've been coming since it was a little old one over the gateway there, when they had sawdust on the floor.
Mum used to give us a shilling to go to these Saturday morning pictures. So once we come out the field, come out the pictures, straight into Walworth Road for our pie mash, my brother and my sister. And what I remember that is because it had a wooden flooring, people in them days somehow used to spit the bones out from the eels on the floor. So he put sawdust down on the floor, and every now and again, about every 2 hours, she would come round and sweep it all up, bones as well. So if he was unlucky to have got there at that time, up come a bit of dust like in with your meal as well. And then she would walk around with a bowl and throw all the fresh sawdust on the floor, and another cloud of dust used to come up as well.
It's one of these things, it's part and parcel of eating pie and mash with the sawdust on the floor, but I think it was, I gather, labourers, dockers, and they used to have heavy boots and muddy boots. Hence, you know, they had to keep on, you couldn't look at the carpet or anything, hence the sawdust. Where that would just be swept up and another load of sawdust. But funny enough, that seemed to go with the pie and mashes. It was all part of the atmosphere, to be honest.
I thought it was because people used to spit their eel bones into it.
Oh no, it's definitely, it was, I think we were better mannered than that, probably.
I think we used to pay about sixpence, something like that, years ago.
Oh, it's sixpence, I think it was silly little money, sixpence. Yeah.
And they used to open Saturday, Friday and Saturday till 12 o'clock in the night.
On Saturday night there used to be open days. We used to go to our friends that lived around the corner and take pie and mash meals up there, didn't we?
Yeah, to Billy, yeah.
Probably the early 70s, we opened until about midnight, 11 o'clock midnight, but unfortunately when the pubs turned out in those days it was all sorts of aggravation going on, and my father thought in his best wisdom, he said, when you have vinegar bottles flying around the shop, he said it's probably time to call a halt to that. It was always local people, and funnily enough, always people you knew that were the ones that were always going to kick off.
Well, they closed that shop down eventually, I can't remember how long, and then we move on to Westmoreland Road.
At one time we had 3 going at one time, back in the 60s, early 60s. My father thought it was a good idea to have a shop in when the Aylesbury was being built in at Westmoreland Road, 10 and 12 Westmoreland Road, and we've been there ever since.
1920s, we believe. These were the very first dishes that we can remember using. These are the earlier dishes that we could find, that we found up in the attic, and these would have been the original eel bowls to have jellied eels in, or your eels and mash. And these date back to somewhere around the 1930s, we believe. Now these would have dated from around the late 40s, 50s, 60s, and in fact we were still using these when I joined in the early 80s. It was an assortment of plates throughout the 50s, 60s, 70s, all different patterns and colours.
How much has the recipe changed over the years?
As much as we can, we keep it the same. Nothing has changed that I'm aware of. You know, we still source all the best stuff. The beef comes from Scotland. We use the suet. We render the suet to make it for our pastry. So it comes in what they call kidney knobs. So we use that as our suet for the pastry. So everything. The only thing that's changed over the years is the flour ingredients changed a few years ago. The flour that we get from Raton Hovis, which we use for years, they changed the recipe on what they've done to it, I don't know, but it was just slightly different, so we had to change it to a different brand of flour.
But the same method of making pies, mash and cooking the eels and the liquor is still the same.
But so even with the same recipe, did the kind of pies ever come up different with different pie men?
Yeah. Some people, I like to think everyone's trained to the same standard, but everyone is slightly different, and I could look, you wouldn't see the difference, but I could look at them and I'd say, oh well, I know who's done that one. Yeah, you can tell. But yeah, as a rule, you got 4 guys making them, and I'm rolling out, and they do a pretty good job on my staff. I'm proud that I've trained them all.
And who trained you to make the pies?
Arments, yeah, it's very good.
When I was a nipper only 6 months old, my mother and my father too, they didn't know what to wean me on, they were in the dreadful stew. They thought of strike, they thought of take her a little bit of old cod row. I said, pop round to the old cook shop and I'll tell you what'll make me grow. Boiled beef and carrots, boiled beef and carrots, that's the stuff for your Derby gel. Makes you fat and it keeps you well, don't live like vegetarians on food they give to parrots. No appetite for more tonight on boiled beef and carrots.
Aunt Gurley worked in the shop, my Aunt Glad, my Aunt Ethel, my cousin Vicky. At some stage all the children have worked in the shop. Cousin Warren, his brother John, his brother Adam, Gary, Debbie and Dawn. So all my cousins that are in the family, they've all worked there at some stage.
So I'm underneath the boy, and me and my mum, Lorraine Saunders, we work together. She does the girls, I do the boys, we just look after them.
We've also had generations of staff work for us as well. I mean, one chap we've got at the moment, his father and his grandfather work for us. A lot of our long-standing staff have retired, but a lot of them have been there 30, 40 years. Roy and I've been there so long, we employed them first time, we're employing the next generation now.
About 7 years. I only started off as a Saturday girl, and then I decided to come full-time after I left college, and I've been here ever since.
I started in April 1961 and I retired in August 2002. And they teach me everything. Hard working times, because you used to work from Monday to Saturday, and Friday and Saturday you work till 12 o'clock. Friday till 12, and then if I miss the bus I have to walk home, and then come back next morning 7 o'clock to work, and then 12 o'clock till Saturday night. It was hard times during the 60s. I could do everything. make pies, cook eels, make the dough, bake pies. I used to do the meat.
I was just walking along one day, coming back from shopping, and I wonder if they had any vacancies. So I just thought I'd pop in, and someone, I don't know who it was at the time, told me to hang on, and then when I got Cheryl on, she was on it, sorry then.
I started in the January on my 15th birthday. A friend of mine was already working there, Karen, and she said, I'll have a word with Roy, you know, because again, it wasn't what you knew, it was who you knew, wasn't it? And so she said, yeah, Roy said come down and see how you go. And that was it. Put me apron on, loved it. Absolutely loved it.
No, they was kind, they was generous, they're just altogether nice people.
I knew so many people, and they'd come down and go, all right, Shao, go and have a double please. And you know, it was lovely because you knew everyone and they knew you, and it was great. It was lovely like that because it was comfortable, and
it was just one big happy family, really.
Probably about 14 years old, so I've been here quite a while.
The people, obviously, that work here like as well, I think that's a big factor. He's always welcoming, very friendly.
Can I have a well done one? Do it for me. They will. They're lovely.
You couldn't have asked for better people than the Arments to work for.
One of the old staff years ago said it'll get in your blood, son, and it does. So you do enjoy it to a certain extent. My father wanted me to do something totally different. He wanted me to go into the print, and I started as a Saturday boy in probably about 72, and then because I didn't enjoy school, I found it easy just to carry on doing what I was doing. So when I left school, that was it. So 16 years old I was there, and it wasn't what my father probably wanted me to do, but hey ho, there we go.
It was brilliant. Best 20 years I think I've ever spent.
How long have you been coming to Arments?
60 years. I've been coming here for 30 odd years. About 40 years. 20 odd years? 46 years.
50 years. When I was across the road, they first started in Humorous Road.
70 years ago.
36 now. Do you know what? I can't even say how long. Probably when I was a little toddler.
Many years. All my life. Pretty much all my life now.
Well, I'm 50. I reckon I must be coming here pretty much 48, 49 years because I would have been brought here by my mum, and she's used it for years.
I've been coming here since I was a little girl.
Since I was a kid, really.
Been dreaming about pie mash.
Little baby Nancy, has she had her first pie mash yet?
No, but it will be her first meal, a little bowl of mash and liquor.
She's too young at the minute, but as soon as she's old enough,
she can have a little bowl of mash and liquor to
she'll
start
be there.
off with.
How long do you think?
Probably in about, so probably another 3 months' time, and she can have a bowl of mash and liquor.
So how long have you been coming to Arments?
Since I was a baby.
Yeah.
Couldn't even walk, just about hold their heads up, I think. So I was letting hold their heads up and hold the spoon. That's what I said. Roy used to go, just get them in the corner, let them get the liquor everywhere in their ear and that, but they're brought up on it, they absolutely love it. It's the only time they're quiet.
You didn't have to worry about when you came over and that sort of thing, because I don't worry about it, love. You know, they're very children friendly. That's how my kids' babies first learnt to solid food in here.
First time I had pie mash, my nan took me a pie mash.
No.
We're a family and we're all really into pie mash.
Probably my mum, I think.
My mum would have taken me there.
Yeah.
My grandmother.
Dad. So my granddad did.
Yeah. Mark Wallace, he told me something I needed to experience. But it wasn't like that, it was like, we're going in there. So I sat down and what would you like to say?
I like pickle onions, I like pickle lily, pickle cabbage is alright with a bit of cold meat, weekends on Sunday night. I can go to Martyrs, but what I do prefer is a little bit of cucumber, little bit of cucumber.
You're raring for this, isn't you now?
Let's go.
Ready? Look. Mash and liquor. Mummy used to have this when she was a baby. Sit down then. I have to blow it because it's a bit hot.
Now, Nancy.
Nancy, look underneath her.
Nancy, have your mash.
Ready? Is that nice? You like that? Her first hard ash. She's got her, it's in her blood.
Do you know, our children, when they were babies, we used to bring them up in carry cups and come in. As soon as they were old enough, they used to have the mash and the liquor. So they've grown up with it and their children.
Yeah.
All my kids love it, yeah, and the grandchildren.
Yeah, look, my mum loves it. Her kids love it, her grandchildren love it, even my great-grandchildren.
I mean, boy, I took Lou round there. Lou loves it. Lou loves his pie mash.
Yeah. Did you
And,
start him off on the mash and liquor?
No, straight in pie mash. He was just giving a bit of my pie. He loved it.
I wrote into the Southwark News and said, I think Arments is more deserving of the Blue Plaque because he's open to 4:30, 5 o'clock at night, whereas Means is shuts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you're coming home from work in Bermondsey, you can't get your pie mash for your dinner or for your tea. And I thought that was worthy of the Blue Plaque.
That's the Blue Plaque, which I hope that they get. Is it worth a Blue Plaque? It's worth a gold plaque. It's worth a gold plaque.
Yeah, but the food's nice, the staff are lovely, it's always nice and clean and tidy. Lots of reasons why they should get it.
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, it's been a lot of years, isn't it, really? It's got a lot of tradition to it, so... Long way to stay as well.
Yeah. They worked hard, didn't they, for it? Look how hard they work here. How delicious it is. Oh my God, they do deserve it.
I reckon just to show everyone that it's been here for 100 years, it's served the community for the 100 years, it's the most popular pie mash shop around here, and I think they should be noted for their pie mash.
Is there special potatoes that make the best mash?
Yeah, definitely. Mary's Piper. Good all round. They're great for the fish and chip shops. Great for us.
We had to move a while, cause the red we couldn't fly. The moving van came round just after dawn. There was me on my own.
How many of these bags will get done?
We packed all we could pack in the van, and that's a fact. Then we got inside all we could get inside. Then we packed all we could pack on the tailboard and the back. Still there wasn't any room for me to ride. My old man said for love of that, don't dilly-dally on the way. Off with the car with the old home in it. I walked behind with the old pop lid, and I did it, and dallied, and did it, lost the man and don't know where to run. I stopped on the way to have the old important, and I can't find my way home. I gave a helping hand with a marble wash and stand, and life it wasn't getting on so bad. When all at once the common bloke had an accident and broke. Well,
What happens to this now, Wayne?
This goes straight up to the counter for the customers.
Okay.
little things like that, but that's a good.
Well, the trade has changed. When we started there, the trade was very, very busy, you know. But as these new Chinese takeaway come in and the Indian takeaway, it started to go down.
Just the change in the complexion of the area around us as well has sort of presented us with new directions to explore. I've been in it for 30 years and I've seen quite a number of changes. We've risen to several challenges during that time. The BSE scare hit us hugely, and it was an overnight third wipeout of our business. We naturally had all our staff there doing not a lot. What we decided to do, rather than just sit back and let it take control of us, we put all our heads together and came up with the idea of using lamb as an alternative to beef. Roy's dad took the business through the war, where they had to think of other ways of surviving, where he made soup to keep the business going when meat was scarce. So following on in his footsteps and trying to put ourselves in his shoes and think, well, you know, what would he have done? We came up with the idea of making a lamb pie that took a little bit of experimenting to get the filling right and for it to taste how we thought it should taste, and we had various tastings with customers and staff and family to see if we'd perfected it. And once we'd done that, we then advertised it. We got the staff all together and sent them out on delivery runs with leaflets hitting Old Kent Road and Elephant and Castle and all the local area, and we also advertised in the paper as well. And we managed to pull it back. And eventually the lamb pie stopped selling because everyone went back to beef. We also checked the source of our beef as well, and we were able to assure customers that our beef was from Scotland and had been checked and was clear of any BSE.
A lot of London things are going one way or the other because it's become so multicultural, which is not a problem, but like, a lot of the sort of stuff that defines what we call Londoners, even the languages and the foods, I suppose, under threat. I mean, there's the seafood stalls are shutting down left, right and centre. That used to be a staple of what we used to eat. And then pie mash, it seems quite popular. They're under threat, obviously, by the amount of takeaway places there are, like fast food outlets there are.
Not everybody likes foreign food. Number one, I like plain food, because I can't keep foreign food down.
With people moving out, the geography of our client base is now in all the suburbs of London, but even as far as places like Nottingham, Norwich, Newcastle, it's far and wide. This is where we looked at it and decided to explore the possibility of posting pies out. And we set up a delivery service about 16 months ago now, where it's next day delivery guaranteed next morning by 12 o'clock. We've got the website, we're just gearing up with our shopping basket now, but they are able to ring in or email us with their order, and then we phone them, take their payment, arrange the day that they'd like it, and it gets shipped out fresh. And that's one of the differences with the way we do it. We actually deliver the pies blast chilled, so they're just above freezing, so that they can freeze them or use them when they get them.
So here we are. Arments delivery. It's all looking good. Is you alright with that mash, do you? You ate all that?
Yes.
God, blimey.
I will.
No? I've got the kids' portion.
Vinegar.
What? You sure you're going to eat all that mash?
Of course I am.
One thing Arments have done is they seem to have kept up with changes, so it used to be literally just pie mash or jellied eels. Now they're doing the little cherry pies and they're doing the cans of drink and whatnot, and they never used to do any of that. I think it's amazing that they've kept going really as long as they have, when you think about how much competition there is out there and how people's tastes change.
What about vegetarian pies? You gone down that road?
We're working on that now actually. Roy's just perfected the pastry because we can't use the suet that we would normally use. We use a margarine base instead, and I'm just working on the filling, and we have various people lined up to test it for us, various vegetarians, to see if we've got the formula right.
I think you're trying to get it to taste like a normal pie? Or just something to keep vegetarians happy?
We're trying to get it to taste like a normal pie in as much as we can. We didn't really want to go down the route of putting lots of vegetables in it so it becomes a vegetable pie. We wanted to try and keep it like a meat alternative.
Right, I'm going in.
This is
it open. Oh, look, the colour looks good. See a carrot? Right, let me give you a... Let's not drown it first in liquor because I want to taste it. Smells good. Potentially good. Don't want to burn my tongue because I'll ruin.
It's been microwaved properly, as are the instructions from Arments. Is that a good pie?
That is a good veggie pie.
Yeah?
They need to go and show Nancy's now how to do it. Because they can't make a veggie pie. That is yummy. Oh gosh, I can't blow hard enough.
Good?
That's proper nosh, innit?
We're having a vegetarian pie and mash.
Okay. How long have you been vegetarian?
About 5 years.
Alright. How's that going?
Alright.
Yeah? Right, get into that pie.
Quite green. Here we go. It's part of history now. It's good.
Because you can't make the liquor like they do Irish, it's some sort of secret recipe. That
It is parsley sauce. A little bit of parsley, salt and batter, and that is it. It used to be made with eel juice many years ago, and nowadays it's not. We don't sell the amount of eels. For instance, we sell probably, I don't know, from when I started we sell a quarter of what we used to sell.
And the liquor was actually made with the fish stock. Today we use water.
The water, you put salt in it, and you make a butter.
And the liquor was named after when they used to cook the eels. It was the stock that was formed, the juices, that was the liquor. It's known as the liquor, and that's how it is named.
Right, so basically a customer rang up yesterday and his son's coming in, it's his 19th birthday today, so I've just done something a little special, a little surprise for him, he doesn't know yet.
The old pie turning ritual.
Yeah, I've got to turn the pie.
Why'd you turn the pie?
So you kept the vinegar in that inside.
Tell me about it.
Well, I've been wondering why they've stopped serving them upside down, because I remember as a kid coming in, they would always be served upside down, the liquor would be poured on top, nice and soaked in by the time you get you're killing me. By the time you get back to the table, but they don't now, so I have to do it manually. I find it's a more enjoyable way if the liquor gets to soak into the base.
Yeah, and what's going on?
Because you've got to make the incisions there, so you can pour me vinegar in.
Turn the pie over.
What for?
Because you just have to, because you get to the meat first.
That side of it's crispy, and by dunking it in the liquor it becomes soft. Good for the railing, see?
What's happened there with that pie?
Turn it over.
What for?
You turn your pie over, didn't you, as well? Yeah. And then cut it and mix it.
But don't it make that crispy top soggy?
No, that's what you want though in the liquor, don't you? That's the whole point of having the liquor, it absorbs by the mash and the pie.
Turn them over.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because to have the I think to have the softer part of the pie, which it opens with the mash and the liquor, it all combines.
Either way, it doesn't really matter. I turn them over and put them in the liquor, it doesn't really matter, you know. As long as it's pie mash, it's for me pie mash.
No, I don't actually. I see people do that. I don't know why.
I was always told, Nanny, always ask for a burnt pie so you know the mince cooks. Yeah. And always turn it upside down to see if there's any mould. If they don't clean their pie trays, yeah, it's going to show. Yeah. You won't turn your pie over. Any reason for that?
Yeah, because for me I like the crusty part at the top.
No, you have to leave the crispy bit on top.
No, I like it like this. I like the crusty part upside down. I don't want it girl soggy.
I like it the right way up, all brown and nice on top, well done.
You must have seen someone else do it, but I kind of what I do, I stab them, the pies with a fork, and then put the vinegar on, and then flip it over, and then cut the bottom, and I take all the meat out and put it with a mash, if that makes sense. So then I eat it all, even though it all comes as a pie, I kind of separate the bits out, and then have the pastry and the crusty bit on its own. Does that make sense?
When I go away on holiday, almonds will be the last meal I have before I go and the first meal I have when I get back. Yeah.
Is that real?
That's true, yeah.
Anyway, I've one up, one down. One up, one down. I've always done it. It's just a thing, and I still have it to this day like that. I don't know why. It's just an habit, I suppose. One up, one down.
That's a bit of a dinner. So, no mash, no liquor.
I just like the pies.
Why is that?
I just love them. Best pies about it.
Obviously put my salt and pepper on. I put more chilli vinegar on the one that's upright than the one that's upside down. I don't know why. Again, it's habit.
Sometimes I have eels, but it's always a can of R8s.
I can see you've took the meat out of the pies and you've got an extra bowl of liquor.
Yeah.
Tell me what's happening.
I like the pastry on the pies. I like it really nice and crisp on top, soft on the bottom. And so basically I take the meat out, don't eat beef anymore. And I basically put a bit of vinegar and salt on there and pepper. And that's the way I like it. It's nice like that.
You've always got to have 1.5 pies because one's not enough and two's too much. So we have 3 pies and split the third pie so we have 1.5 each.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
And you often get the guys that come in and they want to have a pie eating contest. You get 2 mates come in and it's how many pies can you eat? And we've seen a fair few duels over the pie table.
My friend and I, we'd have double pie and mash. Many's a time we said fancy it again. So, well, you've only got to look at me to see that I'm not lying.
The 2 big builders, and one had 14, they had a contest at the old shop, 14 pies, one had the other had 12, couldn't keep up with the big fella.
And one of the reporters, he was as fat as a hat pinner, he had 8 pies of mash. 8!
You say you'll eat 10 pies, I'd say I'll eat 11 pies, and so it goes.
I remember my mate went into one years ago, it used to be one in Albion Street in Rodmore. I went, 7 pies and mash, mate. I went, 7 pies and mash, you eat 7 pies and mash, I'd give it for nothing. And I ate it. And he barred him. Don't come back in here.
We used to have one customer we used to call tenants who used to roll out the red line at 3:30 and straight into us to soak up some of his liquid alcohol, and he'd do that on a daily basis.
I've got to have it at least once a week.
Once, twice a week.
That ain't great going.
Ain't great going, I can't eat too much, so I feel like falling asleep every time I have a plate of it. But not today though, so I'm out.
Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursdays and Saturdays.
2 or 3 times a week.
At least once a week.
2, 3 times a week.
Yeah. I love it.
I used to cook all the eels, the jelly eels and everything. The eels used to come from Billingsgate Market. And we used to have a thing at the back of the shop where we have them and we sort them out and cut them and gutted them and cut them in pieces.
And when they're fried, the eels used to come in live as well, in the tanks.
I remember that.
Yeah, Roy's Uncle Rick used to say they'd come in and they'd disappear down the drains and the gullies, you know, off and escape back into the Thames probably. We do get our eels now from Ireland and from New Zealand because they're the best quality now. And they're seasonal, which is why we change.
But I like stewed eels, jelly eels.
Working in Arments and then course serving jellied eels and the wobble of the jelly used to make me ill, and then the stewed eels, like, there you go. Really ate it. That's probably the only thing I never really loved about that job.
My mum used to come in here and I used to have pie mash and she used to have jellied eels. I couldn't stand there, but she loved it.
I can't handle jellied eels, I can't handle watching people eat jellied eels.
But I do like the eels, a lot of people don't like the eels, and we always go for double eels.
First time I ever ate stewed eels, I put it in my mouth, I chewed it all up with the bones as well, and I thought, I don't like this. My friend said, you have to take the bone now, you have to eat the meat round the bone. Oh, I didn't realise. And after that, I was hooked. I loved them.
So happy birthday! You got your own pie. Was it a surprise?
It was a surprise, yeah. I didn't even have my name on it, so last touch. No, it's wicked, thank you. Nice one.
And you didn't know about this, no?
No.
Famous there, sir.
How did you sort that out?
I spoke to the rate yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was a bit of a pain in the arse, but she said that Paul would do it for us, so fair play. Absolutely super. Start of a good day. Yeah.
What's this then?
10 pies for my brother, 6 for my dad, 6 for another brother, and then I'm taking 4 myself.
And where are these all going to?
Kent, Sitting Bull.
Why can't you get pies down there?
Because they're not very good.
Can't you get it down in Kent then?
Oh, they opened one in Raymond, where I live. One of my sons tried it. He said it was horrible, it was real fun man. Let's get it here, really.
And how many do you usually take home?
I usually take, I've got 3 children, so I'm going to take 4 pies and 3 liquor for my daughter. 4 pies for my dad and 3 liquor for my middle boy. And 4 pies and 2 mash for my eldest.
So how often do you come up from Ramsgate?
If we go down the coast, we take it down. We've come from Maidstone today.
From Maidstone?
Yeah, because we've been Maidstone now, so we come regularly just to have pie mash.
How can you come all the way from Stevenage to come here? You get to load to go back to Stevenage.
Blimey.
We live 50 miles away, so we come down probably once or twice a month.
And my daughter comes up from Essex.
I live in Cambridgeshire, but I come down just to buy a mash.
How long? How often?
At least once a month.
We had a woman standing at that queue with us, and she was filling a bag up with pie and mash. And she see us doing it as well. And do you know where it was going? It was going on an aeroplane to Malta.
This is the best. This is simply the best. You can't beat this one. Tried other ones. They can't get it right.
Best pie and mash in London.
Probably about the best out of all the pie mash I've been.
It's £3.14 for a hot, freshly prepared dinner. You compare that to a sandwich or something for someone on their own, like the elderly are often living on their own now. what could they cook for £3.14 that's actually nutritious and freshly made?
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. It's a good meal actually. If you have that, you needn't have anything else in the day.
The best place, well, I reckon Westmoreland Road's the best.
To us in South London, you know, Arments was the packer.
Good. Well, you get quick service, and you always pull out. Tastes really nice.
That's Arments.
We like to try others, but it never matches up to Arments. Arments is the best.
If I'm out and about, I will try like other places over like East London and that, but I just personally, it's here. I like this more than anything.
Do you go to other pie mash shops?
Never.
No.
Nope.
Only Arments. We make the special trip down.
If you're used to Arments pie mash, it's unique.
I think it's often what you've grown up on, because our pies taste different to Manze's pies. And I think it is just what you've become accustomed to, rather than that ours is better or theirs is better. It's more the flavour that you've grown used to.
And it is probably that thing of it being, you kind of go up in Walworth, you go to Arments, you go up in Bermondsey, you go to Manze's. And then that's kind of just how it is, so almost like it's not exactly a tribal signifier, but where you grew up and where you're from, that's your kind of loyalty lines with that pie mash shop, strange as it might seem.
How did you come to prefer Arments if you're from Bermondsey?
Because we spent a lot of time in Walworth Road, every weekend.
My dad's family's from Walworth Road.
Yep.
And that's where you met Dad.
Yeah, so that was our local pie mash.
Well, no, your local one was Manze's.
No, we don't do Manze's.
I think they're much the same as we are, really. It's just they're Manze's and we're Arments. And we've both been doing the same thing for a long time.
No, I don't go anywhere apart from Arments.
I don't go anywhere else now.
The real fans know the difference. They can spot the difference by looking at it, let alone tasting it.
What about when Grandad tried to trick me?
Oh,
Do you remember? He used to get it every Thursday for me. So we'd go and get it in the morning, then when I'd finish work I'd get the bus down to his house and I'd have pie mash there. And he forgot one day, which ain't like him, that Arments was shut for the holidays. And he went to another pie mash shop and got it and didn't say anything. So Mum's heated it up and done it all in the kitchen for me and brought it in on the tray. Straight away I knew it weren't Arments. And the look on his face, he was like, how'd you know, how'd you know?
We can tell.
Yeah, I could tell. I went the colour of the liquor for a start.
Yeah, the meat in the pie.
Meat in the pie, the quality of the pastry, and the rubbish mash. It's not Arments. He was shocked though. I think then he realised how much I do love it.
Yeah.
I've run a team. Docklands under 11s. Roy Shield actually a silent partner. Well, I say silent, they ain't no more. They do our coats for us. So they've done that for 2 years now. They've got our training coats. So obviously we've got their logo on the back. 2 or 3 times a month that people come and tap me on the shoulder and say, do you know what, I ain't been there for ages. Next time I'm in that way I'm going to pop down. So it does work. See, they're doing a kit for next season for us as well. So yeah? More than that,
In a room with 5 people that have just had pie mash and 5 people that have had carrots and lettuce, and I can assure you, I will tell you the happy people and the grumpy people within minutes.
I had a kidney out in January, and 2 days after I had the kidney out, I was parked over there, and his family come in and get the pie mash and take me home 2 days after an operation. Fantastic.
Part of the cure.
That's right, part of the cure. I've never been ill in my life. It's got to be something down in this food, isn't it?
I guarantee you, if you were depressed or anything, once you come out and you've had your pie mash, you didn't feel depressed. I can assure you of that.
Well, I used to get glandular fever quite a lot.
Yeah.
And you used to get me pie mash, and it always used to make me feel better.
My nephew rang me and he said, did you know that it's all kicking off in Walworth? I said, well, no, I'd heard that something might happen, but he don't actually believe it until someone sees something or whatever. Then I started getting more calls from other people. Have you heard? My friends told me. And then we got to around about 9-10 o'clock at night, and then someone said the shop's on fire. Trying to ring the police, no answer, couldn't get any reply. Eventually got through, and they said, well, don't attend, we really don't need members of the public at the moment. So all that night we were awake thinking that there won't be anything to come back to in the morning. So we eventually, after a sleepless night, got there at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, fully expecting to see nothing left. And we were fortunate that, I say all they'd done, they created a lot of mess. They'd broken the windows, there's a lot of glass, a lot of stuff chucked around inside the shop.
Next morning got up, I had a walk round there, and it was just literally the windows and a bit of mess in there. But I did hear that a couple of Millwall boys walking past saved the shop as such. They got rid of the thugs who was in there.
I used to go to primary school just down the road, down at Michael Faraday, and me and my mate Scott, we was about 9 or 10 at the time, and we sneaked under the fence to school at dinner time because of with our sweet money. Instead of getting sweets, we used to come down here, but all we could afford was mash and liquor. Now I got home one day from school, and my mum come up to me and went, "You was caught down the pie mess shop today, someone saw you." And I thought I was going to get in real bad trouble. I was getting ready to get kicked down the ear off. And she just turned around and went, "Good on you. So tomorrow when you go down there, here's £1 so you can get a bite with the mash and liquor."
When Mark was raised, he was about 5, he ate it like that. So we used to go in the fish and chip shop next door, bring the fish and chips in here and sit in here while we were at the pie mash.
I suppose what's got to be the funniest would be Thursdays. That was pension day. And back in the day when the old folk used to go up to the post office and all draw their pension out of their books. And at the time, Arments, we had the plastic knives and forks. And the old folk, they used to love, they didn't have all that crap, they wanted their own silverware. And on a Thursday, if you was like doing the afternoon shift on a Thursday, you'd find knives and forks, you'd find the odd set of teeth.
Where they kind of took them out?
Yeah, took them out, put them to one side so no one saw, and because they'd have to suck the meat off the dreaded jelly deals or the stew deals. And once there was a toupee that was found. We wasn't quite sure at first what it was, but I remember Karen and I had quite a laugh, that we're not really sure whether to go near it. And it would appear, we're assuming it was a chap, because it was like just a little tiny rug, and it must have come off with the cap. But the cap went on, but the rug stayed on the chair. We were all a bit afraid to touch that at first, but it was all right in the end.
When my work colleagues at Croydon Crown Court know I'm going to Arments, I have to get it for everybody there. Yeah. So we all sit in the court having our pie mash.
Come, come, come and make eyes at me down at the old bull and bush. Come, come, have some pork wine with me down at the old bull and bush. Hear the little German band.
Well, good afternoon to you all, and it's a great afternoon because we never thought we'd see the sun again, but we've got it today for sure, so summer's looking down on us. Anyway, it's our pleasure to welcome you all, and our special guest, Jake Goodwin from Millwall Football Club, who's going to unveil our blue plaque. Before that, just a few thank yous. Yeah, you probably, can you? I usually do. I'll get a bit emotional. Anyone who knows me, I know I'll get a bit emotional. So stand on this, that's my bad ear. Anyway, before that, a few thank yous. Oh, sorry, and Kevin. And Cameron. And Cameron, our special guest. Our very special guest, Cameron. Also to all our staff who helped to make our customers aware of the nomination. I don't know if anyone knew, we had 3,500 votes.
Yeah.
So, we'd like to thank Mark Baxter for nominating us. Any of our customers about? Okay, well thank you for voting for us. That's about it from me. So it's over to him. Yeah, this is...
Congratulations. I mean, to be honest, Arments wasn't just like a victory, it was a landslide. 50 odd blue plaques later, we've come to this one. As I said, it is very timely. The people of Bournemouth love their pies. He's starving. Don't come between a man and his pie. But yeah, absolute congratulations. Lovely to see such great institutions. Arments get their blue plaque. Well, very well deserved. Thank you over to Cameron, young Cameron here, and to Jake Goodman, who are going to actually unveil the plaque. So, you got it here.
3, 2, 1.
Wow.
I think it's important to people like myself who's grown up in the area to keep something of tradition going. You know, like Arments is a traditional shop that the people of the area have been using for generations.
It's very important for me. I mean, it's the fabric of the area, fabric of all the things that I grew up with.
Oh, very important. It's part of. I would have thought it's part and part of being a company.
We have considered moving out or having a second shop. For us, because there's just the two of us in the business, and Roy and I have been running it as the two of us probably since about mid-80s, late 80s. It's not really as practical for us, which is why we've chosen to stay put and concentrate on the area that we've been in.
Yeah, there is a future. Definitely, but it's got to be, I don't think you could go and make it worldwide or enlarge it too much. But there'll always be a place for it.
I'm hoping it'll carry on. You know, I mean, I can't never see it not carrying on, if you like.
It'd be very, very sad if we ever lost that.
Who's going to take over? Will the Arments name?
My nephew on on Cheryl's side. He's very good, and Cheryl's sister is very good, and yeah, we're all working towards the same goal, hopefully.
Will you be taking it over?
Hopefully, but that's for Cheryl and Roy to decide.
I think while you've got that loyalty, while you've still got people coming in from Kent to eat now, then they're probably going to keep going. I don't think it's going to die. I can't see that.
Well, as long as we've got the old-fashioned taste, yeah, the regular people, the South London people, I think so. I think it'll carry on. Yeah.
And I think he's well pleased that he's got Arments caught up in Lights now. That's a big thing, naming these local streets. So that'll keep the myth going, even if the shop shuts. People will last in years to come.
I don't think he'll ever go. No matter what all these, the new shops that open, the fast foods and that are, I don't think it ever will.
I definitely do. I don't think it should be cut out altogether. If you do that, you're cutting the British Westland out altogether.
It's part of the tradition of London, so we've got to keep tradition going as long as we can.
Well, as long as people keep going and eating it, it'll keep going, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely got a future. Definitely, yeah.
Let
I'm really sorry, we haven't got a PA system in here. The idea was to do it in the shop, but that wasn't going to happen today. It was just mad over there. So you have to bear with me. I don't do public speaking, I make pies. 100 years, where do we start? Well, it all began when our grandparents, William and Emily Arments, took over a business selling pies and eels in Walworth in 1914. So in this 100 years we've seen a lot of changes, some good, some not so good, and some very hard times. We've always been true to this area and been within 500 yards or so of where we are now. Now we'd like to celebrate those 100 years with the help of our family and friends who have been with us through good times and bad, and also to remember those members of our family who are no longer with us, particularly my father Bill Arment. So to end my few words, I'd like to say thank you to our staff who are terrific. They can't hear you now, they're buzzing away over there. And to Cheryl, who has worked tirelessly to get this off the ground. Also to Mum, all the years she put up with me and Dad. And finally, thank you all for taking the time today to share today with us. Last but not least, our loyal customers, thank you. I'd now like to pass you over to the Right Honourable Harriet Harman, who's kindly taken the time to be with us here today.
Right. Thanks very much. It's an absolute honour and a privilege to be invited to come and join you here, and I'd like to say a big hello and a warm welcome to all Roy and Cheryl's family and friends from far and wide, and also the local community. And the one thing you can say about Roy and Cheryl is that they are living proof that the more pie and mash you eat, the more glamorous It's a great pleasure to meet up with Rita and to have Rita here. And the thing about what Roy has so well explained is this is a family business down the generations. But I wonder if Emily and William, when they first started out, they would realise that through all the changes that have taken place in this area, that what they started as a family business of good food for local people would be thriving 100 years later. So much has changed, but Arments remains absolutely at the centre of things.
Eric's going to cut our first slice of cake. You can all have some later though.
And many congratulations to the pair of you. You're a credit to the local community and the local area. Thank you.
We're in a pie shop. What's going on? What's happening? Pie mash and sparkling wine, eh? Hello, can it get any better?
Well, if I can't get down to Wharf Road, because I live too far away now, I order a takeaway, and one of the members of staff lives near where I live, so I go round to her house and collect it from her. This particular day she put an extra pie in the bag, which I thought was my lucky day, so I thought I'd have an extra pie. And when I ended up cutting it up, it was a rhubarb pie. So, rather than waste it, I scooped the rhubarb out and had the pastry with the mash and the liquor. Couldn't let it go to waste.
Always an Arments fan.
There's something about everything. It's the liquor, it's the mince, it's everything. It's all the factors I can't even explain. To me, that is basically the king of the pie masher to me.
We brought up on it and we've always loved it, and that's it.
Hope that they go on for another 100 years.
I mean, even today with all the different food about, you still can't beat the pie mash shop.
I think I'll stick with Arments till I leave this life. Arments forever, I guess.
Goodbye, Dolly, I must leave you, though it breaks my heart to go.
How do I look on that camera? Do I look fat?
Well, shut up.
Oh look, I've got my grey, I ain't washed my hair, I ain't got no makeup on.
Straight, yeah.
Oh Mick.
Something tells me I am needed at the front to fight the war.
Are we filming, yeah? Yeah. Oh, we are, good.
See, the soldier boys are marching, and I can no longer stay.
Oh, you're going to do it. Oh, is it a film? I thought it was just a photo. No.
Hark, I hear the bugle calling. Goodbye, Dolly Gray.
How did you come to prefer Arments if you're from Bermondsey? No, not you.
I have come to say goodbye, Dolly Gray. It's no use to ask me why, Dolly Gray. There's a man.
You got any other funny stories about?
What about here?
Yeah.
Yeah, they overcharged me twice.
In 66 years, what a liberty.
In the air, you can hear it everywhere. It is time to do and dare, Dolly Gray.
Oh, I didn't have it switched on. Oh, we've got to do it all again.
Yeah, I don't think so. Goodbye, Dolly, I must leave you, though it breaks my heart to go. Something tells me I am needed at the front to fight the foe.
Oh, I ain't had it switched on.
Oh! Oh Nick! Oh,
Gotcha.
See, the soldier boys are marching, and I can no longer stay. Hark, I hear the bugle calling. Goodbye, Dolly Gray. Goodbye, Dolly Gray.
Is the recipe kept somewhere, like the Coca-Cola recipe?
Yeah, Bank of England. We've got it there.
Really?
No.
That's the film, isn't it?
Leave it in.